What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Core and Calisthenics with myself, Rodrigo. So we're coming at you today, very rainy day. Hopefully you're logging in right now. It's a perfect day to stay in home and get some workouts done inside. Today it's probably going to be a little bit hard as well. Not as hard as Monday. We were here Monday. When we were here Monday, I heard a lot of people say it was really tough. And I gave warning throughout the whole warm-up that it was really tough. Thursdays aren't usually too that much harder. Sometimes a little easier for people. But if you're missing some ability, some movement abilities with your body, then it probably is going to be pretty tough for you. But today, we are going a little bit harder as well than usual on today. What we're going to start with is always some mobility work, some moving of the joints around. So we're going to start with just the head. We're going ear to shoulder. We're loosening up that neck. You know, people think, oh yeah, I move my head around. But then when they look around, they're like turning the whole body around. But we want to make sure we're not missing movements with the neck, very important. So now we're going to go looking over the shoulder and keep the chest steady. So the chest is always facing forward. Good. All right, next up, we're getting into the spine. And here, we're going to go into our flexion, rounding, reaching forward, and then arching, bringing the chest forward. We collapse the chest, open the chest, moving the arm through the spine, and we can really get as deep as you can into both positions. Inhale as I open, exhale as we reach. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a lateral reach. So we're reaching diagonally up. Exhaling as we reach. All right, next up, we're going to get into our breath work on the floor. Remember, this is very important to make sure we put the rib cage down. We're setting the torso in the strongest position to be able to brace the abs. We're going to building up on this today. So we're lying down, face up, legs bent. We reach out for the ceiling and let the shoulder blades come apart as you reach. So we're reaching as far as we can. Full exhale, compress the rib cage. And when you inhale, keep that compressed. So there's always work being done by those torso muscles to keep everything super tight through the midsection. Keep reaching. And now we're going to incorporate this into a little bit of a crunch. So as we exhale, let the shoulder blades come up, the head comes up. We're going up, we're not tucking in. Hold here. Squeezing the whole midsection, rib cage compressing. We do one more. And that's it. From here, we're going to come back to that same position we're at. Now we're going to go sideways a little bit more. So we're going to come up, compressing the rib cage. Arms are by the sides this time. And we're going to reach, alternating for our feet, side to side. Make sure the hips, the pelvis stays in place. We're not moving the hips. People will slide the hips over like this because they cannot bend the spine. So we're getting our motion here, mostly from that top half of the spine. Squeezing as far as you can, reaching towards the toes, not just being satisfied with touching the foot. Like that way you can get really good contraction of the obliques as you turn. We're going to do one more each side. And rest. Now, sort of feel those abs working a little bit more. So keeping that contraction in mind, so we can continue to the next exercises. So next up, we're gonna have a little bit of a rocking. Now, a rocking is gonna happen on the forearms here. Knees are under the hips, elbows under the shoulders, palms are down. Make sure you always push your chest away from the floor. We lean forward as far as we can, like we're about to touch or kiss the floor, and then rock back, pressing the hips onto the heels. So we rock forward, rock back, rock forward, rock back. We're going to be incorporating this movement into later on one of our circuits. So make sure you remember how it feels. We are going to be making it harder as we go. But if this is already challenging for you, I know it will be for some people, this is what we'll be coming back to instead of what I'll show you later on. All right, now we're coming up to the hands and knees. Hands on the shoulders, knees on the hips. From here, we're going to rock back, hips and heels, and as we rock forward, hand and opposite knee off the ground. They hover off the floor, reaching as far as we can. Come back, and then we get the other side. So my hand stays close to the ground, but it's reaching as far as I can. Come back. Notice that knee off the floor, and then I can bring it all the way to touch my other arm here. So make sure we're going as far as we can, always pushing away from the floor with the arm that stays grounded. Make sure those hands are coming back to where they started, and then start coming forward. Once you start taking that further forward hand positions, it makes the movement easier. So don't make it easier subconsciously. Only make it easier if you actually need to. Using the exhale as you reach. Let's get one more each side. And resting it. Okay, so now that we're getting a rocking, kind of like really situated here, we're getting used to it. We're going to get into the hips a little bit more. So we will be using those inner thighs today. We're going to take our leg out to the side, sliding out, sliding out, sliding out. Hands go on the floor, and not just in front of you, but walking a little bit towards that foot, just so we can be centered. You'll find here. Now, as we rock forward and back, exhale, rock back. We're loading that inner thigh. Inhale, come forward. And I'm keeping that sole of the shoe down flat. We're going to do 3 more rocks here. We're trying to keep that knee as straight as possible. And good. Now rock forward, bring the knee back. That's how we get out of that. Now stick the other leg out to the side. Slide it as far as we can. We bring the hands down. Slide a little further if you can. Keep that sole down. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, rock forward. When we warm up, we don't just want to, get a little jog, get a little walk, wherever it is you used to do when you warmed up. What we want to do is get into deep ranges of motions, because we're going to be using those ranges of motion to get the muscles prepared a little bit. And that's it. Okay, the last one we're going to do here is going to be coming up to the feet. We're going to go into our toe touch squats here. So the feet, anything between hips to shoulder width apart, find what works best for you. Or we're grabbing the toes. If you need to bend the knees, otherwise keep the knees straight to grab the toes. We're trying to keep the heels down as much as we can, but we're getting the hips as deep as possible, arms inside the legs. We're going up and down here. Continuing to move through these. Figure out the breathing that works best for you. Maybe it works better when you exhale coming down, or maybe it works better when you exhale going up. We do 2 more. And that's it. All right, so we're getting a little bit more warmed up now. Should be ready to go. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit because we're going to be spending a little more time on the floor today. So we're going to have a circuit, 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. If you've been doing this before, you know that's usually our time of work. For today, we're going to be doing some upper body, some lower body combinations. So first up with our lower body is going to be our lateral squats. Now for the lateral squats, we take a wide stance, feet slightly turn out. We're going to get deep into this. We're going to reach towards a straight leg. Here, got a little crack there of the hips and alternating sides. Now if you want to make this harder, stay low with the hips, not with the shoulders. So make sure we're not doing this. And see how my shoulders are staying down, but my butt's still going up and down. We keep the hips down here. I'm reaching. I stay as low as I can. And then that way we get a little bit more challenge on the mobility as we transition. That's going to be exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, we do our side sit-throughs. So on the floor, hands on the shoulders, knees under the hips, knees are off the ground. We lift, hand and opposite foot off the ground. We turn towards that hand. If we can, we kick that leg out. Come back. Other side. Come back. And I'm finishing facing the wall. Now, if that's too hard, we keep the foot on the ground. We just bring the hand up off the floor. Okay, so that's going to be 30 seconds. That one, however, I'm showing it slow right now so you can see the movement. But we're going fast. We're going to be going fast as we can on that one. And then the last one here is going to be a pike up from the forearms. Remember we did that rocking in the beginning. We have our forearms down. This time we're starting from a plank position. Now, the hard part of this motion is going to be coming up from here. So if you need to make it harder, we walk the feet forward. Notice how I'm leaning forward. Press the hips up. Press the hips up. Okay? So the more your feet are closer towards your elbows, the harder this move is going to be. So we're really going to be leaning forward as we come down into that plank position. We get the shoulders quite a bit of work through that. So on that one, we really want to lean as much as we can handle. That's where you get to really feel that tension. All right. So we got 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. I'm going to be doing 3 rounds. My clock is ready. I hope you got some music playing on the background. Get ready. We're going to be moving. We're going to get started with those lateral squats. Remember, stay low with the hips the whole time. If you want to challenge, it's a lot more. Get set. And begin reaching. Coming up if I need to, or staying down if I can. I'm just switching side to side, 15 seconds. We're getting those inner thighs to work on that transition. We're getting the quads to work. Make sure those knees stay outside the torso. 5 seconds to go. That's it. We're going to side sit-throughs. Get that out of the way. Side sit-throughs, make sure you get the hands under the shoulders the whole time. We're going for speed on this. Let's go. If I'm only moving my hand, I'm looking like this. If I'm taking my leg out, it looks like this. Wow. Remember, stop with your chest facing the walls. We're moving as fast as we can handle. That depends on your own abilities. We've got less than 10 seconds. Woo. All right, next time's going to be that pike up from the forearms. Remember, the feet closer to the hands. Makes it harder. I bring my hips down and lean forward. Remember how we were about to kiss the floor before? That's how it feels, but a lot more weight coming into that. Make sure those hips go up all the way and down all the way. Whoa. Whew. That last one is a lot harder than it looks. 5 seconds, we're going back to the lateral squats. And let's get it. Now here, if you want to get deeper, you can bring the heel, only the heel on the ground so the toes come up. And that makes it so I can get a little bit deeper into it. But only do so if you have the range of motion, the mobility that allows you to safely do this. We have 10 seconds to go. Oh, I'm keeping my hips as low as I can during the transition. Oh, shake that off. We have the side sit-throughs. Remember, stop with chest facing sideways, not up. Ready? And let's go. I'm gonna lose this arm right here. Abs always tight here, braced for a punch. We got 5 seconds to go. Woo. All right, next one up is those pike ups. Remember, walk those feet forward if it's feeling easy. Use the exhale to press up. Remember, lean forward, push away from the floor the whole time. We're almost there, 5 seconds. Whew. All right, last round. Getting to that lateral squat. Remember, heel stays down, toes go up if you want to get deeper. Oh, so these are referred to as Cossack squats. If you do them like this, oh, why? I don't know. Some trainer maybe came up with it at some point, popularized it, whatever. Oh, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, keep it moving. You're staying under tension, under load the whole time. Oh. Woo. Side sit-throughs, abs ready for the punch the whole time. And let's go. Moving quick. Transition from one side to the other right away. Keep the shoulder over the hand. Make sure you're keeping weight on that arm, not leaning away from it. We have about 5 seconds to go. Woo. Last one of those pike ups from the forearms. Remember, hands stay in place. Feet move further forward to make it harder. And I'm still coming down to that plank. So I'm bringing the hips down. That's where the load really comes. Oh man. Yeah. Woo. Hey, if those weren't tough for you, tell you what, you weren't leaning far forward enough. And that's kind of the downside of me not actually being able to see you do this, because you might be taking a little bit of something, a little change to make things easier, and you don't even know it. So take a little breather, take a little water. Got my water bottle. And if you were here last week, we got into some of that leaning forward before. With those mountain climbers, with the rocky mountain climbers, we got into those before. Getting into the shoulders in a lot with different way than just doing some overhead pressing and stuff like that. It's way different. So we're exploring a lot of motions here that get you moving three-dimensional planes. Because guess what? A lot of people do strength work just here. They stand just one dimension, and then guess what? When they try to move, they try to play sports, they look like I don't know, like stick figures, moving like this. They don't know how to coordinate. This stuff right here gets you moving better. So now, when we finish up our half hour of power, we got only 2 exercises for the next one. Okay, we're still gonna be doing 3 rounds back to back, only 2 exercises. The first one, you know, it's probably one of my favorite abdominal exercises. It's a full body sit-up. We've been doing this a lot in my classes here. So, make sure your body stays straight at the bottom, hands under the chin. From here, one motion, you sit up, you grab the ankles. Notice I'm all the way up with the torso. Notice that my feet are all the way in. We go down one motion, and then right back up. If you're having trouble sitting up like that, instead of starting with the hands down here, start with the hands up here. And now you can throw them to create some momentum. But that's only if you're having trouble coming up from the hands under the chin. If you're coming up and it's hard, keep it like that. You gotta struggle. You're supposed to make it hard. It's not supposed to be easy. So challenge yourself. The second exercise. Now we're gonna revisit the bear crawl today, but it's gonna be a little bit different. We haven't done this in the lab classes here yet. The bear crawl high position usually looks like this. You go opposite arm and leg, butt stays way up, heels stay up, palms are down. Now, if that's challenging for you already, keep it like that. All right, we should go forwards, maybe try going backwards as well. And now we're gonna get a lot more strength work done here. We do a bent arm high bear crawl. So now bent arm high bear crawl. We're here. I'm gonna let my elbows bend, my shoulders bend. I'm gonna come down, maybe just like a third of the way. Maybe just bend a little bit, that's already hard. And I'm walking. The same way. Okay, so now we're doing the high bear crawl with bent arms. 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 3 rounds. Look at that, we're gonna be done with that half hour of power super fast. Make sure you move. Make things as hard as you can. Those sit-ups, you better move like lightning. Come up fast, down fast. Otherwise, you're going easy on yourself. And hey, as your coach, I can't allow you to go easy. You need to push yourself. That's why you're here. So let's get ready. I didn't need that. I know I left it. All right. Full body sit-ups. These are fast. Once your muscles get fatigued, you can't go up. Then you bring the arms overhead. Throw them for momentum. Get set. And let's go. Up fast, down fast. I don't let gravity just work for me. Coming down, I bring myself down. We're working every movement. I'm not being lazy. I'm not just falling back. I'm shooting straight open. 5 seconds left. Woo. Now we're going to that high bear crawl. So the high bear crawl, remember, arms are bent if you can. Even if you only can get a little bit of bend, that's fine. The arms are bent. The heels of the feet are staying up. The butt is staying up. You can go forwards only, or you can try going backwards, which is going to make it a lot harder. But the knees stay straight. Only the elbows bend. Work with whatever space you got. If you only take 3-4 steps forward, then go 3-4 steps backwards and just keep moving. It is way harder than the straight arm version. 5 seconds. We're going sit-ups. 3, 2, And let's go. This is an abdominal assault here. Just very little rest between these sets. For the abs, for the sit-ups. Keep moving, no stopping, no slowing down. Your mind is going to be wanting to slow down the moment it starts getting hard. Don't let your body slow down. You can keep going. 5 seconds left. High bear crawl. I got a sipper here. Let's dig in on that sit-up. Ready? 3, 2, let's go. Bent arm, knees stay straight. Knees stay straight. Pushing through the toes of those feet to move you and pushing the floor away. Oh, the whole time. We're getting a lot more shoulder work like this. A lot more tricep work. Woo! Last set. You know what that means. Last set's your best set. So you're gonna move fast, you're gonna move better, make it look even good. Let's go. 2, 2, just focus on the movement, completing the repetition, then attack the next one. Don't worry if it hurts, but don't worry if it's uncomfortable. It's just a little muscle soreness. Keep it moving. 3 seconds. Whoa. High bear crawl. Whew. In 5. Last one. Bent arms. Let's go. Keep the breathing going. A lot of people stop breathing, start holding their breath when they get upside down like this. Even if they're short breaths, keep moving. Woo! Now we're starting. Those are tough. Let me stop this clock. I think it's once it's stopped. Woo! All right. A little water. Hope everybody's doing well. You're feeling all right. Hopefully you're still keeping up with some exercises at home. It's easy to be self-motivated for 1, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But getting this into a habit, forcing yourself to keep going through and then having to make it automatic, just like brushing your teeth. That's where you really start to see the differences, either in feeling better, moving better, being stronger, looking better. It's not just every so often. Make sure you're still doing things. So we're gonna get into a little bit of stretching, a little mobility to finish up here, and we're gonna be done. Half-hour power. Doesn't take very long. All right. We're gonna get into a 90-90 position. What that means is we're sitting on one butt cheek, one leg in front, one leg on the back. So the bottom leg is the one that's forward, the top leg is backwards. And we're gonna get 90 degrees everywhere here. Ankles even 90 degrees, knees 90 degrees, thighs where they meet at the hips, 90 degrees everywhere. Okay? Now from here, we're trying to get upright. Now this is tough just to do that. I know this is tough for some people. Keep that hand as close as you can to the body here. Now one trick to do this is that back leg. Let that knee slide outwards a little bit. So we start opening this hip a little bit differently. Getting a little more movement right there, and I can get upright a little bit better. So now keep it a proud chest, like we're arching the spine, facing that front knee. Chest is going to go forward. I'm going to go as far as I can, and I'm going to hold here. So I'm under tension. I'm pulling the chest forward. I'm not collapsing down. Don't do that. People will do this, That doesn't do anything for you. We're arching, we're going as far forward as you can. Now bring the hands down and hold. And if you can, you pull further forward a little bit more. And some people will feel this back hip right here on the side starting to cramp. That's fine. It happens. Once you start doing this more often, it'll start cramping. It'll stop cramping. Good. Now from here, we're going to come upright again. Now we're going to bring the hand off to the side. The other arm is going to come under and reach back as far as you can and hold. Deep breaths. Just walking the hand as far back as you can, back and out. So we're getting a little bit of rotation pull through the backside to the hips. So we're going to switch our 90-90 position. I'm going to face sideways a little bit more here. Pardon me, I'm just falling today. 90 degrees everywhere. Knees, hips, and remember, slide that back leg out a little bit more so you get a little more room to sit upright. Try this upright as you can. Face that front knee, pull the chest forward. So I'm arching, I'm wrinkling the back of the shirt as far as I can here. Then I bring the hands down and hold the stretch there. I walk forward a little bit more, pull the chest forward a little bit more if I have the space. And that's it. We come upright again. Hand goes straight to the side, straight to the side, so it's not forward. Other hand goes underneath, reaching and walking as far back as we can here. Hold. Deep breaths. And that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you all next week, either on Monday at 10 a.m. or next week, same time, Thursday at 9. Have a great weekend. Make sure you eat those proteins and vegetables, and take it easy.